All right, what's up, everybody? I'm again feeling 130% better now, and I'm trying to get it's Sunday, December, late December, December 20th, 2015, about 10 minutes after 8 o'clock in the evening, and I'm feeling a lot better. I'm still sick, but a lot better. I'm well rested. I'm picked up a little bit. Like I said, I'm on solid foods now and I'm feeling wonderful. And because it's Sunday, tomorrow's Monday, which means that I need to get my mind on track with back on track with my task as far as employment and finances and all of that good stuff. The past week, as y'all know, um, crazy devastating experience. I do want to report on it, but um, again, time and health resources and everything else dictates a little bit otherwise. And I will, because I think it's very important to get the truth out so people know about things that are going on. And you know how sometimes the world in general, if you haven't experienced things, you have one perception of how life goes and how it is and how it flows, when reality is that many times it operates totally different. So I want people to see that, so that when they experience things either directly or indirectly, they're aware that sometimes, um, pictures are painted differently than what's actually what's that things don't operate the way that they should always, and majority of times they don't. It took me a very long time in my life to realize that. I think throughout all my life I was kind of raised, you know, through for various reasons to believe that, if you do A, B, C, D, and E, F, G, H, and all the rest of the alphabet will fall into place because that's what success is. But it's not really true. The world has so many different variables, different people that operate on different value systems, with different experiences, and um, it's very seldom that it actually works that way. There's a lot of, like I said, trickiness in the way the world operates. But for me, staying focused on my goal, I definitely, had to get my mindset back on the finances. As far as working, I start another job, yet another job on Tuesday. First, this is commission only. And that doesn't scare me because I know I can make the money. But what scares me about that is that when you have those types of positions, um, it's like the bottom of the bottom, because unless you have that chemistry of where you can make people do what you want them to do in the office. As far as customers, I got that. But but what scares me is there's a lot of egos and things like that, where if you're working this type of commission only job as vacations, um, you have people that are called quote unquote TOs. A lot of these people, from my experience, they're not good on the phones, and what they do is they'll take over when you're about to close the sale, and that way they get a higher percent commission. But a lot of times these people jump the gun, and whether they like you or not, they can blow your sales intentionally, or they can get on the phone and say, and customer service is very important to me. To me, that's a big part of sales. They'll get on and say something just completely out of pocket to the customer that has nothing to do with what they said, and all that time that and energy and effort that you spent with that person is thrown completely out the window. So that's the only thing that scares me about that. And being commission only, you don't want to go there and spend all your time and have it all wasted, or have to be subjected to listen to somebody just butchering your sale. And that scares me. But at this point, I really don't have a lot of other options, because again, I have my transportation on my 2 feet, and being that I'm recovering from a cold, and being that these jobs are upwards. On the bus it would be like 3 hours, but walking would be like 5 or 6 hours. Which I don't mind. But again, being mindful of that. So I am well enough to, like I said, get my situation a little better organized, and also to set my goals for the week. I think Sunday is the most important day of starting your week, because that's the day when you do all of your planning. You have all your ducks set in a row for the rest of the week. You have your goals you need to obtain, and you have to be realistic. Um, like I said, I'm working on some things, because realistically speaking, this commission only thing, because of those reasons I mentioned, I don't know. So, maybe that's an unreasonable, a non-realistic thing for me. But, you got to take everything that you can when you have it. And so that's where I am. So right now I have two main goals, three maybe, well, two major goals. And the second one is broken up into like three different parts. The first one is a couple of places by my house. Today, the goal for that is that I got the information regarding the actual store number, so I'm going to actually apply for that online, maybe follow up on Wednesday. Tomorrow, I'm going to follow up on some old leads that I had about, and now the second goal about picking up the checks and things like that. With the maliciousness, like I said, that's completely malicious with that former place where um, the manager told me one thing, and I don't know who's telling the truth. I know the manager told me one thing directly. The girl, she made up something completely different, and when I came in, like I said, she was just selling out all over the place. So she may have lied on the manager too. I don't know, or the manager may have conceded to whatever she said because she was that convincing. But then a whole different story came about that she sent me in a text. Then I called the actual office to confirm what was going on, what was the real thing. The office told me a completely different story. So then I took that information, all of it documented, forwarded to the senior company as well as the sister company, not only with a request to have it corrected and investigated appropriately, because nobody asked me anything, but I was told a few different things which were not true. And, I would have settled for the first one. That's what they said. That's fine. It's not true, but I have to move on. But then you have lies upon lies told on that. And then to get that rectified, to get that, to have that investigated, absolutely no response. Then request for the contracts and, the documentation that you have when you first become employed, no response. Then a request to have my check mailed, which I was told that they don't do that, which doesn't make sense to me because if an employee separates, normally they don't want you to come back there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of making things inconvenient. And a lot of times in this world, things don't really operate, like I said, the way that they should. And sometimes there's bigger things in the picture than you know. I told y'all about a decade or so ago when I was going through the legal thing and how I went for this quote unquote job interview. And these people showed up that obviously did not work for the company. The receptionist was nervous when they walked in because she didn't know these people and she knew something was wrong. When I spoke to them, the questions that they asked were just really odd. You know what I'm saying? They were more sociological questions and they were really odd questions. And they were talking about my family and stuff. And I hadn't spoken to my family really since the legal thing because I didn't want them to just letting them know what happened. I didn't want them to be like encroached in all the stuff that went with it. So it's very odd. And so things aren't always, again, things ain't always what they're saying, and sometimes what may not be a big thing to you, maybe like something totally different for somebody else, meaning that, you know, in the eyes of a person that's never been through the system or never been exposed to some of the craziness that the system has, things that the system has in place, you would think, okay, well, these were just bad people and this was just a one time, and they were just easily influenced and you got to scramble to the next and maybe something that you could do different. But after a period of time and after experiences, you see that this is indeed the way the world operates. People can keep telling themselves a story that again, if you do A, B, C, D, and E, there is no hero. There's nobody to come save the day. Basically, you are responsible for your own, journey and path in life and cutting down the weeds and brush and stuff and making a clearing for yourself. And it's not an easy fight. It is a jungle out there. And whenever there's a jungle, you have to, you have to tame the land. That's all it is. You have to make a clearing for yourself. And, so, this is it. So I'm going to work on this app for the place close to me. When I get through, I will vlog again. Um, and speaking, about people, the kind of people that are like leaving comments on my vlog, I have to tell y'all, because I'm honest, I'm not really feeling that. If you leave 5 or 6 different comments and you're trying to make it of a personal nature, with nothing professional to say, with nothing of substance to say, I'm not into it. I may not delete the comment immediately because I don't have time. I have a lot of things going on in my life, but it's not appreciated. Um, just about my page. It's not a page for a fan page or anything like that, because if I was that fan worthy, I wouldn't be on here blogging about this stuff. I'd be out having a good time, enjoying life with all the people that are fans of me in real life. I don't, that's not the type of life that I live. And I do appreciate people that sincerely understand, you know, just the plight of being human and the things that I'm going through. That's great. I do appreciate people that are real, genuine people, people that actually have profiles, actually have their videos and things publicly displayed, because they appreciate who they themselves are, and they're very open and honest in being who they are because they like themselves, because that's who I am. I love myself dearly. And so I don't have a problem sharing things about me. I don't have a problem being open about that, because to me, that's what real love is teaching, educating, learning through experiences and just being real. So, with that being said, and I do sense sometimes there are other people that are innocent, but unfortunately, like myself, but unfortunately, I get the feeling that a lot of them maybe, they're not American, not Americanized. But I do appreciate that, and I do appreciate the people that are mentally grounded and so forth that do leave comments from time to time. Um, and I know you guys live busy lives because you're living life also outside of, the internet. So, with that being said, if you're a person that don't have a profile, that doesn't have any pictures or videos, or you created a profile simply so you could stalk other people's pages, it's time for you to grow up. I'm really not into that. I'm not like they say about that life. Don't do it. I don't like it. And just because I leave your comments up doesn't mean that I appreciate it or whatever. It just means I haven't had time. Don't ask me for any personal information. We don't know each other personally. You get the same information that's out there for everyone else. Um, other than that, just love and respect the people on being people. Me stating that is not like trying to cut people down or nothing like that. It's just, out of all honesty and respect for myself, I'm letting you know how I feel about it. I don't like it. So that's that. But anyways, back to what my goal is. Going to apply for this thing real quick online, and then I'll hit y'all up later and delete all those comments, because I don't need all those comments. um, you know, kind thoughts, wisdom, positive energy. Cool. I don't need, a whole bunch of personal stuff. I'm just trying to do what I need to do, and um, the support of people that are like-minded, that are trying to do what they need to do in life, or trying to just get an understanding of someone else's life. That's cool. Anyways, bye for now. Later.